every single life matters.
The primary responsibility of government, first of all, which is security.
We bank mostly on intervention rather than prevention.
Democracy is a government where power resides with the people.
Hello and a very warm welcome to you. This is YOU.GOV. It's all about you and all about the government. We are concerned about you as a citizen, and that is why we look at government's responsibilities towards you. And recently we've been talking about security, the need for the government to wake up to its responsibilities in terms of protecting the lives and property of you and I, citizens of this great country, Nigeria. And we've had security experts telling us about their own view and giving recommendations to making the nation safer and better. But after this break, we'll be telling you what we're going to focus on this week. Stay with us.
From Lagos
To London. From Johannesburg
For several years, our economy
to the United States.
Identifying houses of worship.
we have all the world covered for you, no matter where you are.
Love with News is at the heart of it all.
Have experience.
We bring you our perspectives of stories behind the story.
The signs given to us for the entry of these things are before us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us on this station. This week, we are taking a look at the increasing cases of rape in the country. This is why the National Human Rights Commission recently announced a collaborative effort with the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons and the Nigerian Police Force to bring perpetrators to book and halt the trend. And on the streets of Lagos State, Southwest Nigeria, Nigerians condemned rape and other sexual assaults.
It's very complicated in my own point of view, which I don't like, and I think it's because of the issue of this lockdown coronavirus that is making some fathers and some young men out there to rape young ones, especially our young ladies. It's not good in my own point of view.
To me, this is not normal. Sincerely speaking, it's not normal. But we need to call on God, because how can a father that gave birth to his own daughter? No, tell me the feeling that the father had the joy to see that he's sleeping with his own daughter. So to me, it's not normal. You need to call on God. It's not something that we be saying stop. We can be saying stop rape, stop this, stop abusing women, but it's not normal. The way I feel it is not normal.
They should find something to do to it, because the thing is getting more common. In fact, it's too much. They are trying, but they should put more effort to it.
Well, personally, I think that it is first of all appalling, and I think it is a state of it is a show of things that have moral decadence. That's what I think, and I think that it's been there for a while. Probably the society hasn't been talking about it. But of course, I think it shows the level of moral decadence that there is in Nigeria.
You're welcome back. If you just joined us, this is YOU.GOV with me, Olomu-Agbodo. And this week, we are taking another look at security concerns. And in particular, we are looking at the developments concerning rape. The incidences of rape seem to have been increasing since during the lockdown, and now the police have been reacting. The NAPTIP, the organization in charge of trafficking in human persons, have been reacting. And of course, several other Nigerians have been lending their voice to the cry to end rape. We have some clips that we would want you to see.
The Nigerian police force is taking full advantage of the state-of-the-art National Crime and Incident Database Center of the Nigeria Police, which is domiciled at the Force Headquarters, Abuja, with its capacity to spread in all the commands so as to collect, profile, store, and share records of SGBG, that is sexual and gender-based violence cases with relevant stakeholders. The leadership of the police, NAPTIC, and National Human Rights Commission calls on prospective employers of labor to conduct thorough background check on individuals to be employed, particularly those whose job descriptions involve working with children and other vulnerable persons, to ensure that prospective employees with criminal records and propensity for sexual offenses are not employed to sensitive positions.
Mr. President is very angry. He is fully committed to see that we drive this point home. And he's working towards us having a zero tolerance of rape and gender-based violence. He has given a marching order to the Inspector General and also the Attorney General to ensure the General to ensure that any case taken to the police is handled with dispatch and that the enforcement should be done without delay.
You're welcome back. Yes, we're talking about rape and we are saying no to rape. We are putting a stop to all forms of sexual and domestic violence against young persons, especially girls. And of course, there are a lot of underreporting in terms of rape because people don't believe that the system is strong enough to protect rape victims. And that is why there's a law now before the National Assembly that has passed second reading before the Senate, and that law is to protect victims of rape against stigmatization. And this week we are joined by a legal practitioner who will be talking about his own view on issues of rape, why there's underreporting, and if the law is strong enough to protect citizens.
It's a very, very sad development. A very sad development. We have been seeing this happening, in all sorts of places. We saw the case of this lady in Benin, Uwa. We saw the case of another child, minor, in Ibadan. We saw several other cases, happening on a daily basis. It's rather sad. I think I still read one that an incident still happened yesterday, or it was reported yesterday. It's rather sad that these cases are happening repeatedly and so consistently. What it means really is that there's something that must be done with respect to punishing these offenders. If most people who commit rape offenses escape justice, there is tendencies that more people will be encouraged to do the same. If people who are found involved and culpable in sexual assault and harassment are not properly and effectively disciplined and punished, more people will naturally not see the need to avoid committing that crime. Because punishment is not just for the sake of it. Punishment is meant to serve as a deterrent. That's the whole essence of the criminal jurisprudence, that the offender should be punished so that it will act as a deterrent to others, and of course, to the offender from committing the same offense again. But if the offender fails to get punishment, he will be encouraged to commit the offense again, and at the same time, the populace, the public, the society will not see the law as strong enough against the offenders. And if the law is not strong enough against the offenders, or let me say the system, not the law, the justice system is not strong enough against the offenders, then there is likelihood of these offenses being committed on and on all over again. That's why we must look at the justice side of these cases. Are the victims getting justice? To a great extent, the answer is no. Most victims don't get justice. And it is until justice is done, appropriate justice is done to offenders, that they will be deterred from committing the offense all over again. And that is why there are proposals, with respect to this issue of rape, that what can we do to make it more serious? What can we do to make the offense itself more condemnable, and to make the offenders, to shame the offenders, so that the public will know that this person was once a rapist. And the novel things that are coming up, creative things that are coming up, is one of them is this register of rape offenders, or sexual offense register, or sexual offenders register, where anyone who has committed rape or sexually assaulted anybody will have his name published in that register, and anybody can, in any state, can just access that register to know who and who has once been involved in a rape case or sexual assault case. So that naturally tends to also shame the offenders. However, I know that there are other plans to also develop, to even review the law on issue of rape offenses. Though I have not been able to read the bill, but I know there's a bill before the National Assembly that is aimed at strengthening, the punishment against rape offenders. Yes, we have enough laws, but it's not enough to have laws, but you must be able to establish that somebody has committed an offense. So there are things that go with establishing a rape case. A rape case, for instance, if somebody has been sexually violated and the person did not report immediately, and all the evidences that could have been used against the offender has been destroyed, it becomes very difficult to establish that case. Very, very difficult. Because a rape case is like every other criminal case, must be proved beyond reasonable doubt. So, and in proving beyond reasonable doubt, you must be able to, establish all elements of rape, all elements of the act of rape, and also, prove with documentary evidence. So if you are unable to show semen, for instance, in the body of the victim, or in the clothes of the victim, or any organs that could be taken that will link that victim to the offender, it becomes very difficult. But that can only be achieved if effort is made immediately after the offense was committed to report the case and conduct proper check and examination on the victim. So it is when the victim is evaluated by medical practitioners and a forensic evidence is conducted to protect, to secure, process, and protect the secure, obtain the evidence, secure it, process it, and ensure that they protect it. Then it becomes easy to establish the rape case. But if you are unable to secure it, if you're unable to, evaluate it and make it an issue, and documentary evidence, as a documentary evidence, it becomes very difficult to establish a rape case.
We're going to a quick break now, and when we return, we'll be talking about more issues about rape and how to stop the culture of rape, how to actually deter people from thinking about rape, not to talk about committing the offense of rape.
It's 3,653 days snowballed into 10 years of victories, 10 years of impact, 10 years of beauty, 10 years of excellence, and 10 years of successes. Thank you, our dear esteemed partners. You made the years worth its while. For your unflinching support, your seeds of love, for standing with us through and through. Thank you. It's our festival of thighs.
You're welcome back. We still have ADEGBITE, our legal practitioner, who's talking about the rape and the laws protecting victims from any form of sexual violence and abuse. And he's going to be talking about what he believes could serve as deterrent to people who have the intention of even thinking about committing acts of rape or sexual violence.
Yeah, when you get inundated with, very bad news, and you feel something drastic must be done, it's natural for one sometimes to think beyond the ordinary. I doubt if that can work. I doubt if if any law can be passed to that effect, because it was actually something that I believe was done or said, or probably the emotion was moved in the heat of passion, and that naturally will end there. The law must be law. We have a way of disciplining people. If we say instead of 14 years imprisonment as we have presently, we make it a life imprisonment offense, then that makes sense. But castrating people may not necessarily, but that is actually another barbaric, suggestion. And it's certainly contrary to all forms of civilization. See, number one, maybe I'll say number one, number two, and number three. Number one is funding. Funding. Number two is training. And of course, number three is sanction. You see, we must fund our security agencies properly. Funding them includes paying them properly, includes buying enough gadgets for them to do their work, includes putting in place around the community and our society security infrastructure. I doubt if on these streets where your studio is located, I doubt if there's any CCTV camera installed by the government. But there should be in every 100 meters in every locality. Every 100 meters away, you must have CCTV installed on every street. So once something happens, you just go back to that place and secure the information that you need from it and retrieve it for your use. Government must invest in infrastructure. And government, you see, we saw what happened just recently in the US. I'm not talking about even George Floyd issue, but there was an incident that happened some time ago, and it was just about a few days ago that the real development was made public. Because what they did was to go and use the body camera, call it body cam, used by the police. We must invest in getting body cam for our police officers. So whatever action they take is being recorded. And we must also, like I said, train them effectively. When you train them, they know how to deal with people. They know how to, stop and prevent criminalities. Of course, the last one is, sanction. If any officer has done something wrong, the person must be appropriately sanctioned. And if a police officer knows that he's going to be sanctioned, he will be mindful of what he does. Just as the citizenry will be mindful of doing what will make government sanction them through the justice system. So we must balance all this. If the society is properly policed, police in terms of infrastructure, police in terms of the involvement of the people in the policing system, and police in terms of the consequence of misbehavior being punished, then everybody will know. At least there will be restriction, and to a great extent, the act of criminality will reduce, substantially, if all these are employed and implemented.
Officially, the punishment for rape is life imprisonment if the crime is actually proven and the victim is able to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the suspect involved has committed that crime. Usually people say it is a very, very cumbersome thing to prove, and that is why people believe they do not want to come out, they don't want to be embarrassed, and at the end of the day, they feel that the offenders would go scot-free, but that is not the case. The laws that are being introduced now will protect victims more. So report if you have anybody close to you that has been affected by sexual violence and things like that. Report to the police, report to appropriate authorities, and attempted rape alone goes for 14 years. The person will be punished for something, so do not keep quiet. So we would like you to join our conversation by using our hashtag #YouGov and #LoveApplause. But before we go, we have some tidbits for you. Well, that's much we can take this week on You.GOV. We talked about ending rape, ending the crime of rape. And there are a lot of laws that we are just getting to know about in terms of the people of Nigeria. Some believe that the laws were not strong enough, but they are laws, and they are laws saying life imprisonment if you are convicted for rape. So do not engage in rape, do not engage in sexual violence, and would also like you to join our conversation by using our hashtag #YouGov, #LoverPlus, and we'd like you to download our app on any of the mobile app stores. Our app is LoverPlus, and we'd like you to visit our website on www.loverplus.tv. You can also send emails to info@loverplus.org. We would also like to hear from you. Send SMS to the number that will be showing on your screen now. God bless you, and God bless Nigeria. I'm Itohan Olomu-Agbodo. Bye for now.